I started my second edible garden 3.5 years ago on our new property that we bought. The garden was very neglected and we had a lot of work to do in the garden, but it was also very exciting for me to start with this project because I learned in my previous garden, I learned a bit, I gained some knowledge, and I was very excited to build further on that knowledge. We started with layout of our planters, and we were going to build them with rocks. Where we live, even if you would dig a hole, you would just get a lot of rocks. So there was a lot of rocks lying around, and it also gives a nice aesthetic look. We got boulders. We built on the inside with normal bricks, and then it was cladded with the round rocks on the outside. After building the raised beds, we waterproofed them on the inside so that there's not moisture loss, because we are in an area that's got a lot of extreme heat in summer and also very cold in winter. So after waterproofing it, I was first thinking to do some wire at the base of the planters just to keep the molds out, but then someone advised me that we could use broken glass pieces, which made a lot of sense to me. We decided to go that route just because my husband is in that industry and it was quite accessible for him. But what I can say, it was very effective for 3 years, but then the molds, they are extremely clever. They've gone now past the glass, so next time I will definitely go for the wire instead. I was just concerned about it rusting through and then the molds can come through anyway. We started with the glass layer, then we had brown box layers that we got because we recently moved to this property. We had a lot of boxes. I didn't have to go and buy boxes, but boxes you can also get at many of the supermarkets. There are certain days that they put out the recycling and you can just ask. I also decided to try out a method that I saw on YouTube where they built several layers. Because the property was very neglected, very overgrown, we were cutting a lot of trees and trimming a lot of trees. We did a lot of maintenance on the trees, which was long overdue. We had a lot of big wood stumps, so I decided to fill up a lot of them at the base, big pieces, and then I would also use a few rocks and branches and everything I put in there just to fill up that void, else you will really use a lot of soil to fill that up. After all that wood that we layered, I put in grass cuttings and brown leaves that I was able to collect. That was the next layer. Then we tried to use what we had. So we took the topsoil that when we started digging out the trenches for the foundation, so we put that in. We also used some topsoil that I bought from this area. Then on top of it we had compost. Because it was such a big load, I ordered. After that we make our own compost and we refill the containers each year with a 5 centimeter layer of our own compost. Then on top of the compost I had a mixture. It's a combination of rock dust, gold dust, molasses, and it's alfalfa meal, calcium. So it's a few basic things that I've got in there that I layer every 6 months on my veggie beds. I will put the recipe for the veggie mix in the description box below. Then on top I started with using not straw, but I used Lusern bales because I couldn't at that stage get straw. I've actually started using wood chips that initially I bought, but now we also make our own wood chips, and I do find that the wood chips is a much better cover long run. It also provides nutrition for the soil. We watered it and we waited for 2 weeks before we planted anything. When we started planting, I bought plugs and I bought seedlings from the nurseries. I also had a small wooden box which we also sealed on the inside. We also used garden fabric that we also layered at exactly the same layers from the bottom to the top. The preparation of your soil is the most important. To plant the actual plugs is very easy. When I planted the plugs, I just make sure that I put the straw or the wood chips just slightly away from the main stem of the plant. After planting, we realized that we needed some structure that we can trellis a lot of the things on. So my husband built the framework on top of the planters, and they were extremely effective. They worked so well. I was trellising my pumpkins and butternuts, and you can see there was a lot of trellising going up on the planters, and it was very exciting for me. We did get very good yields after that first season. Here you can see I planted some seeds. So the next season I started experimenting with different seeds, and also enjoy that a lot, making my own seedlings. I just love my garden, and initially it was hard work to get the structure up. The next garden episode I will show you how we had to enclose this whole garden. I heard from neighbors that there was a baboon problem. With the next garden episode I will show you how we enclosed that whole area to protect it from big birds and from baboons. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did so, remember to hit the like button. If you want to stay tuned to the videos that I make, remember to subscribe. And remember, take care of your health. It's precious.